Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to talk about Jose Peseiro, the new coach for the Super Eagles. I wanted to wait until he had managed competitive matches and not just friendlies before analyzing his tactics, but the friendly matches against Mexico and Ecuador had some positives that came to fruition in the African Nations Cup qualifiers against Sierra Leone and Sao Tome and Principe. Now, of course, Peseiro wouldn't be a coach to be excited about. His managerial history is pretty poor. Even though he has managed in La Liga and the Portuguese League, his national team management was with Venezuela, where out of 10 matches, he won 1, drew 3, and lost 6. Yet so far with his first few matches with Nigeria, I'm noticing a philosophy of pressing, attacking intent, and simple yet effective tactics that should make the Super Eagles qualify for the African Nations Cup in 2023. I personally don't put too much weight into friendly matches because at times a coach or manager might not have all players available, and especially with Peseiro, the matches are very close after his employment. So even though Nigeria under Peseiro has a perfect record in competitive matches, his overall tally out of 4 matches is 2 wins and 2 losses. The losses obviously came from the friendly matches with Mexico, where Nigeria lost 2-1, and with Ecuador, where Nigeria lost 1-0. In the match against Mexico, Peseiro lined up the Super Eagles in a 3-5-2 formation, and then against Ecuador, Nigeria went out in a 4-4-2 double 6 formation. In both matches, Nigeria started off slow, conceding goals early, but eventually growing into the game. During losing positions, one thing I noticed Nigeria doing well was pressing effectively. It wasn't a perfect team press like you would see from European teams like Liverpool, but throughout those matches, wherever the ball was, the 3 or 4 players in or around that area put pressure on the opposing team to force mistakes and lead to goal opportunities. Eventually, at the end of those games, the stats showed a respectable showing for Nigeria. Heading into the African Nations Cup qualifiers against Sierra Leone and Sao Tome and Principe, Jose Peseiro decided to go for a 4-4-2 formation. I personally prefer this formation because it is straightforward and everyone knows their roles. In addition, Nigeria just doesn't currently have the players to play highly technical roles such as a wing-back, central attacking midfielder, or a false 9 striker. So keeping tactics simple is beneficial to the strengths of the Super Eagles, which relies mainly on pace and attacking outlets. This was very evident with the 2-1 win against Sierra Leone, where Nigeria had 15 shots on target, and the record 10-0 win against Sao Tome and Principe with 27 shots. In addition to all these changes, certain players seem to be finding new form and rising up due to Peseiro's management. 2 players who have stood out to me are Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi. Calvin Bassey is a tall physical defender that has good ball control and can play as a centre back and left back. He got an assist against Mexico and also played as a centre back against Sao Tome and Principe. Of course, his time at Rangers last season, where he got to the Europa League final, played a positive part in the Nations Cup qualifiers. And at only 22 years old, he has a good future ahead of him. As for Alex Iwobi, Peseiro has started playing him as a centre midfielder rather than a winger, and I honestly think that is a good decision by the manager, and I've always felt he was too tall to be a winger. In that wide position, you need someone who's not only quick, but makes decisions very quickly. Iwobi is more of a player who likes to take his time and pick out a good pass. His passing ability is very good, and partnered with Joao Aribo in the midfield, there should be a lot of ways to break down any defense. The only issue with this position change is that there is no physical or defensive presence in the midfield. But I feel like once Ndidi returns or Peseiro subs in players like Etebo and Onyeka later in a match, then there won't be any reason to worry about defensive scenarios in the middle. I think what we're seeing so far is an understanding by Peseiro of knowing what he has at his disposal. Too many times in football, we see coaches take over a club and a national team and force them to play a certain way and line up in a formation that doesn't work. It's important to not get carried away, even though this start has been decent. My benchmark for a Nigerian coach is to always make sure the Super Eagles qualify for major tournaments, and as of now, we are only in the qualification stage and nothing substantial has happened yet, but it is promising and I hope this form can be consistent. The qualifications will continue in September and I hope Nigeria can finish strong in the group to make sure that they qualify for the Nations Cup in 2023.